Sunday night lives. Give me just a second to get caught up here and let my computer load, and then we will get started. Excuse me. I do have a couple of announcements and things that are coming up that I'm hoping to share with you shortly, as soon as my computer loads, and then we will get started. Wow, this place is a disaster. So, again, welcome everybody that's here. Thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate it. This is a live Q&A. I do have a couple of announcements that I want to get to in just a second. Some really big things coming up. So hopefully you stay tuned for that for just a second. We do this every Sunday, or we try to do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a live question and answer, so if you have any questions about Coturnix quail, raising them, breeding them, colors, brooding them, hatching them, whatever the case may be, feel free to ask, and we will do our best to help you on your journey with Coturnix quail, or your adventure with Coturnix quail. And we do a couple fun things here every Sunday, so if you've hatched any eggs from us this week and they have finished hatching and you have not let me know what the hatch rate is yet, feel free to let me know. We'll write that down and update our records. We're currently sitting at a 72.2% hatch rate on shipped eggs for the year, and we just finished November with a hatch rate of a 74.8% hatch rate for just November. So we are making up some ground, so that's very nice. Obviously, if you're here, we'd love to know that you are, so comment below where you're from. It's always interesting to see where all the quail people are at in the world, and this is more of a community setting, so I go as quickly as I can, but I do read all the comments, and we just kind of hang out and answer questions and things like that. And obviously, if you can support the channel, all you have to do is just hit that like button and support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so let me get into announcements and then we will get started. I did post a video this week. I think it was yesterday that it just posted, but it is why my fertility rate is low and what to look for. That did post yesterday. I thought it was a good informational video, so if you've not seen that or checked it out yet, do so. I think that'll help you on your quail adventure. I do have a couple other videos. We're having some issues here with downloading, so I'm trying to work on that. The one I just posted took 3 days to upload, so I'm working on some things here. But we do have some good things coming your way. This week we'll be posting a video about when to replace breeders and add new blood, and then also what's the difference between jumbo and standard and what to start with. So those videos will be coming this week. So stay tuned for those if you haven't subscribed to the channel so you don't miss. We are going to be revamping the 18 and under contest. I will be finalizing that this week. I will also be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 videos. They won't all be posted this week, but there's some really big videos coming your way. And we've got some big announcements. So next Sunday is going to be a really big, or next week, a week from now is going to be a really big week. So starting in January, I've got some really big things coming out. With that being said, I'm actually going to be doing some Zooms where it is like a live question and answer, but it is much, much smaller. We all get on there, it's face-to-face interactions. You actually ask the questions instead of typing them out. It's more personal, so in January we're going to be starting something like that. It's part of something bigger, but not this week, but next week, which I probably should have looked at the dates, but it's next week. I'm going to be doing 4 different Zooms. I'm going to be doing 2 on Wednesday and 2 on Thursday. So if you're interested in a Zoom live Q&A where it's just between, I'm going to keep it between 10 and 20 people in each one, so I will have to turn people away. I've only got time for 4 of them next week, and I need to work some kinks out before I actually go live. So if you are interested in that, Stay tuned. I'll actually be doing a video on it this week. I actually need to write myself a note. So if you are interested in that, I will be posting a video about that this week, so make sure you watch that. That will give you the information and details on how to sign up for those classes and what the topics are. So we're going to do a couple different scenarios, I guess, a couple different things. So 2 of them are going to be topic related only. One of them is going to be just to ask me anything. We jump on there and we go as quickly as possible. The other one is going to be that you have to submit your questions beforehand. But again, the times, the dates, how to sign up, and all that stuff is going to be coming this week. And then we'll be doing it next week, which is next Wednesday and Thursday. The times will be in that video and everything like that. And those are to set us up for success for January. And then, so that's this week. I'm in the barn. I'm just going to be doing a bunch of videos and posting later and things like that. Next week is going to be the Zoom week. The week after that, I believe, is the week of Christmas. Christmas is on a Sunday. We're actually going to have a special live on Friday, the day before Christmas Eve instead. But we're actually going to be having some extra people with me. And you will not want to miss it, because we will be announcing the big thing that we've been working on for 4, 5, 6 months now. So it's going to be really, really cool. The people that have been doing it with me are going to be on there. We're going to be talking about it, and having a lot of fun with that. And then Christmas Day, we're actually going to be doing a special video for everybody. So that's coming. I'm very excited about that as well. And then New Year's Day also falls on a Sunday, and that is when we're also going to do a live Q&A, but that's when we go live with our big project that we've been working on. So we're getting real close to announcing everything, and I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned for that. But those are pretty much all the announcements. Again, if you're interested in the Zoom, I will be giving that information out this week on a YouTube video. We'll also be talking about it next Sunday on the live. I will be canceling next Tuesday's rapid fire Q&A because I'll be doing the Zooms Wednesday and Thursday, and I've just got too much stuff going on. So anyways, we've got a lot of stuff going on the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you stay tuned to the channel and you don't miss the big things. But I'm telling you, this is a whomper of a thing. This is probably the biggest thing that Myshire Farm has been a part of in a long time. And it's taken a lot of planning, a lot of preparing, a lot of time, money, and research to put into this. This is about the same amount of effort that we put into QuailCon. But it's something different. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about it. Okay, I've blabbered on enough. Hit the like button, support the channel, and let's get into your comments, shall we? All right, here we go. David's in the house. Zach, thank you for answering my questions this week about my first quail injuries. The 3 hens and 1 rooster recovering well. The most damaged rooster died today. The remaining group of hens still together, settled down fine. Once I pulled out the suspected bully. There you go. Yeah, I'd call the bully, and the rest of them will heal in about a week, and you can put them back in there probably no problem. S.O. Swanson's in the house. Welcome, glad you're here. Ernest is in the house. Thanks, Zach. You inspired me more than ever to increase my quail productions. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you very much. The video that we're doing this week about what's the difference between jumbo versus standard might be very interesting for you since you're increasing your quail production. So hopefully you'll be able to watch that and get some good ideas. Joy's in the house from Western Oregon. Welcome. We're glad you're here. S.O. Swanson's in the house from Mississippi Delta. Welcome. Carrie Ricker is in the house from New York. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Foster Farms is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Ed Got Bait and Verna Young are in the house. They're both my moderators. You'll see them under the comments section in blue with a little wrench. Usually they have answers for you when you ask, and they'll comment below you before I get to it, because I typically get a little bit behind because there's a lot of comments, which is fine. But if you're wanting to get a very quick answer, you can check out the comment section, and they try to answer for you or give you links on videos that answer those questions or things like that. But they do a lot of help for me, and they're a big part of the community, so thank you very much. And so you can always check that out. And if you're really looking for a fast answer to your question, I go live almost every Tuesday. Again, I'll be canceling not this week but next because we'll be doing the Zooms. But the Rapid Fire is a live Q&A that I do on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I don't read all the questions. I don't do announcements. All I do is I don't read all the comments, I'm sorry. I just read the questions, answer, and we go as quickly as possible to get as many questions answered as possible, so you can check that out as well. Bob with the Boz in the house from Southwest Louisiana. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Sue McKee is in the house. Hi, everyone. Just started getting eggs for my newest hatch. That's wonderful to hear. Great accomplishment, so congratulations. Foster Farm says the optimum ratio is 3 quail per square foot. At what point does that balance being off become a factor in dealing with aggression? We have lost 2 hens. The newfound fighting has become a problem. 3 quail per square foot's a pretty solid rule. That, you can fluctuate on the male to female ratio. You can do 3 quail per, or three hens to every 1 male. They'll get beat up a lot, but it's not the end of the world. You could do 4 hens to 1 male. I recommend 5 hens to 1 male. You could do, long story short is you could do 3 hens to 1 male to 7 hens to 1 male, and there's not a huge difference there. But the 3 quail per square foot, that's pretty solid. I mean, you can change it, but you're gonna have to face some issues, if you know what I mean. I lost my spot. We have 14 birds in 6 square feet, so 6, 12, that's like 2.5 quail per square foot. That's gonna cause some major aggression. They're gonna get real angry that they're too close together. So I'd open up that space a little bit. God dang it. Foster Farm says hatching as fast as we can. There you go. Sue McKee says been raising them for over a year, so I've had that fever for a long time. There you go. Well, you're doing great, it sounds like. Vermont Quail is in the house. Hello, all. Bruno is here. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Carrie Rogers in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Christopher K is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Vermont Quail says, I have 20 quail eggs in lockdown for 3 days. I don't think I have any that will hatch. Increase your humidity. About 5 to 7, they're already been in there for 3 days, so 16, 17, 18. Increase your humidity 10%, increase your temp 1 full degree, and let it go 48 hours. If you don't see anything, then I'd call it quits, but there's no harm in trying it. Jesse Mills is in the house. Welcome, glad you're here. Aaron is in the house from South Louisiana. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Linda is in the house from California. Welcome. Sue says, looks like a friend's maybe getting into quail. They are coming out to check my setup next week. That is wonderful to hear, and hopefully you give them the fever, the good one. David Lister is in the house. Welcome from Oklahoma. Glad you're here. Dwayne Hansford is in the house from Sweet Home, Alabama. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Dwayne says, hello, Mr. Zach. When are y'all going to have your quail back online on your website? Live quail will be back on the website at the end of January. Jumbos will begin to get back on the website 1st of January. James Bishop is in the house. Are you ever going to have another auction on Facebook? It's a good question. I still don't have an answer. I don't know. Maybe. I was hoping to do some this week, actually, but I got a pretty big order in, so I'm not going to have any eggs. So, yeah, as of right now, it's just the website. But I'm working on it. I'm trying. We're actually building a cage to just put. It's going to be a 6-tier. The top 3 is just replacement birds every week that we're putting in for us. The bottom 3 is going to be eggs for auctions every week. So hopefully that will go into effect in a few months. But until then, it's just going to be if I have any that hasn't sold. Carrie Rogers is in the house from Frankfort, Kentucky. Welcome, glad you're here. TMS Asphalt Maintenance is in the house from Delaware. Michael Kelly's in the house from Goose Creek, South Carolina. And Curbside Outdoors is from Southeast Michigan. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're all here. Christopher K's in Georgia, and Jose Soto is in South Carolina. Bob Groves is in Alabama. Welcome, all 3 of you. Moss Quail Farm says hello from Georgia. I got my shipping notification from you today. Can't wait to get my rare mix eggs. Wonderful. Wish you all the best, and they will be going out this week. So good luck, and obviously keep me posted. Carrie Ricker says, when will your jumbos be restocking? I was looking to get eggs, but it says out of stock. Most jumbos will be back on the website January 1st. There might be 1 or 2 that is about mid-January, but everything on the website will be back on the website in January at some point in time. Let's see. Bob Groves is in the house from Clanton, Alabama. Welcome. AJ is in the house. Hello. I just put 47 to 57 eggs on lockdown today. 10 were not developed. Not bad numbers. Congratulations. And good luck. Butch is in the house. Does stop quail from laying when you move them from one town to another town? Yes, they do. It's stress. It usually takes them about 2 to 3 weeks to start up again. But anytime you change the routine, they'll stop laying. Charles is in the house from Texas. Welcome. Glad you're here. Butch from Louisiana is in the house. Welcome. Arturus is in the house from the UK. Welcome. Very cool. S.O. Swanson says, subscribe to be notified of those great videos and hit the thumbs up button as well. Thank you very much for your support. Tolly River Quail is in the house. Welcome. Vermont Quail says, I know what this big thing is, 10-pound quail. That is not what it is. That would be something. Verna says, Zach and Myshire Farm, you need a spoon of your honey for your voice. I'm actually doing okay. I don't know what's going on with it, but I feel fine. Chad is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Richard Wagler's in the house. I have some large males outside in a bachelor pad and decided to use them for breeders. They're currently infertile. Will they become fertile again? I don't know why your males would be infertile. Your males should still be fertile, even if they were in a bachelor pad. So that shouldn't be a problem. My dog barged in and then left. I gotta go shut my door real quick. Okay. Yeah, fertility shouldn't be an issue at all. I mean, males, as long as they're over 9 months or under 9 months old, they're fertile. Linda Stoner's in the house from Madisonville, Kentucky. Welcome. Uncle Dude is in the house. It's a common occurrence to have one hen lay a double yolk egg daily. I wouldn't say it's common, but it's uncommon. I wouldn't say it's rare either, is what I was going with. Yeah, I mean, you can get that. Typically, if they lay a double yolker continuously, then they'll always lay a double yolker. That's usually how it goes. It's not rare, but it's uncommon. It's not a lot. I don't know what the numbers are. We've probably got 5 in the barn out of 2,800 eggs a day, so not a lot. Carrie's in the house. Is it too cold to ship eggs? Do they freeze? No, we actually just finished November numbers, and we're actually sitting at an almost 3% increase in hatch rate this year. So, no, no. Ron Darrell Adventures is in the house. Question: what temp should a brooder be? What I would recommend is you actually watching the best practices brooder video. You can type into the YouTube search bar best practices for brooding by Myshire Farm. That video will show up and you can watch that. That gives you the whole setup and what it should be. Long story short, there should be one of two ways you can do it. It's supposed to be 99 degrees the first day and then drop a half degree after that every day. So 99, 98.5, 98, 97.5, so on and so forth. But really what you want to do is just look at them, watch them for about 5 minutes. And if they're cuddled up underneath the heat source, they're still too cold. You need to give them more heat. If they're cuddled up away from the heat source, that means that heat source is way too hot. So you need to lower the temp. What you want to see is all of them just all the way around, kind of like the three bears. One's too hard, one's too soft, one's just right. So one's too hot, one's too cold. It's just right. But that video will go much more in depth about it. Yes, I have them on lighting and in a heated building now. Oh, I don't think you're talking to me. Tully River Quail says, hey Zach, have you ever had to trim a cross-billed quail? No, we have not. I haven't had crossbeak in 7-8 years. Crossbeak is almost usual. It's almost all like 90% or higher. Usually just a genetic issue, and you kill that one, and it doesn't further in the gene pool, whatever. Sometimes it's a hatching issue, but most of the time it's that. But I haven't seen a crossbeak in 6-7 years. It's been a long time since I've seen a crossbeak. But no, anything in that situation we call. Yud P is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Not a problem, Foster Farms. Charles says, I'm breeding gray silver jumbo wilds. Is this common? I'm breeding gray silver jumbo wilds. I guess I'm a little confused on what you mean by gray silver jumbo wilds. They wouldn't be wilds if they were silver. But yeah, they wouldn't be wilds if they were silver. And the issue you're going to run into is silvers, number one, do not breed true. If they do breed true, then you're inbreeding way too much and you're going to start having issues right away. And number three, you can't keep the weight consistently generation after generation after generation. So that's the issues that you're going to have to overcome in that situation. 65 Small Guy says, I have just a few quail, but I'm wondering how much of a problem inbreeding is. My birds are aging, and I'm thinking I should hatch some before fertility drops. Mainly, I just use the birds for eggs. Yeah, you really don't need to worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. Hatch some out before fertility starts dropping and hatch starts dropping. So you're definitely on the right track. My rule of thumb is about 3 years. You can always add some new blood unless you have multiple cages. So if you've just got one little hutch or one little cage, 4 generations, so once a year. But if you're breeding once every 2 years, well then, I can go 6 years. So really 3 generations and then add some new blood. But if you've got 2 cages, then you can just cross them every 3 years and go for a long, long time. But inbreeding is not really a big deal in Coturnix quail for the most part. It can be, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're just looking for the eggs, then I think you're on the right track, and I wouldn't worry about it. But the rule of thumb is every 3 generations add some extra blood to it. Vermont Quail says, I did that, Zach, but they were right all along. There you go. Uncle Dude says, not talking to me. Ron Darrell Adventure says, first hatch was 21 out of 36. That's great. Those are good numbers, especially for your first hatch. Congratulations. Johan Rivera says, hey, bud, thanks for the advice. The last few weeks, I have 17 out of 28 of the hens laying. There you go. That's very good. I would assume you're probably going to get to about 22 to 25 in the next week. But I'm glad those tips helped. And it looks like you're back in production. So congratulations. TMS says we're into the 30s at night. Is it too cold for 4-week-old quail to be out into a hutch? Nope, that would be completely fine. Just make sure that they can get out of the elements. So obviously it's 30 degrees, but the wind is going to make it feel like 5, you know what I mean? It's pretty cold out. So just make sure that they have somewhere that they can go where the wind's not going to affect them, or rain or snow or whatever the case may be. So yeah, as long as they can get out of that, they're good to go. Hart Farm says, when are the jumbo wild eggs going to be ready? I'm shooting for January 1st. At the latest, it's going to be January 15th. I'm working on it. All depends on how it goes. So at the latest, January 15th. The rest of the jumbos will be back on January 1st. I'm pretty confident about that. Tony's in the house from Toronto. Welcome. We're glad to hear. Dwayne says, thanks so much for the information, sir. Not a problem. Glad you asked, and glad we could help. Yod P says, I just put my eggs into the incubator yesterday. Hope I get great hatching rate like you. Well, thank you very much, and good luck. I'm sure you will do great. Johan says, I I recently ordered eggs from you, 50 color assorted to Orlando, Florida. I received my box like how you package the inside, but was wondering, is there any way you can add an extra label so that post knows that there's fertile eggs, potentially live eggs inside, so they handle the package more carefully? What's the price to only see fragile sticker on the top? Even the postmaster said there should. Ooh, it's a long comment. At least additional labeling so they know they are live eggs, fertile eggs inside, just so hopefully they handle it with extra care. Even keep box this side up with arrow signs like, yeah, none of that really matters. The post office really doesn't read the boxes, and they don't really care very much. Our post office actually keeps all of ours separate, and the label that we print when they scan it actually says live birds. So they are completely separated from all the other packages. But yeah, we put labels on there and all that jazz. Rohan Edward says, from St. Lucia, says, I saw a video where you said a quail was a half pound when converted, so I estimated when killed and cleaned it should be, a quarter pound. What do you, half pound? It should be more than a quarter pound. Should be more than a quarter. I'd have to look at numbers and think about it for a while, but yeah, normally you don't get half pound quail. Or wait, 60. Yeah, you could easily do that. I don't know. The jumbo wilds usually weigh out at 10 weeks old, 14 ounces, and then when you butcher at 14 ounces, usually they're around 10 and a half. So you'll lose about 3.5 ounces. I don't know what the math is on that. Hart Farm says, do I have to wait until they are available to put in my order? Yes. I'm not if it's out of stock on the website, I'm not taking any orders until I am comfortable that we can supply in a fairly timely manner. I don't like that long wait. Like last year, so I am working on that. Yusuf is in the house. Hey everybody, welcome. We're glad you're here from Lexington, Missouri. Cali Quail Keepers is in the house from Penn Valley, California. Welcome, glad you're here. My 3B's farm is in Massachusetts. Just hatched quail in my kindergarten classroom. Great way to help kids remember the letter Q. There you go, that's a great idea. Richard says, was it cold out and they don't have any it was cold out and they don't have any phone. I don't think you're talking to me. Yed P says, should I wrap the incubator with a blanket? It never hurts to wrap it. It only helps. More insulation is not a bad thing. Let's see. Hearts Farm says, I'm just getting ready to get my first quail ever. Is the Jumbo Wild a good one to get? Yeah, Jumbo Wilds are great. I would highly recommend watching the video that I've got coming out this week, the difference between Jumbo and Standard and what to start with. Anything feather sexable is good. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for production, then Jumbos are really not the way you want to go. If you're looking for size, then obviously Jumbos are. But we'll talk about that in the video that I'll be posting this week. But that's not a bad choice at all. Mary Howard says, good evening from Washington State. Zach, do you call for attitude? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any jerks automatically get called immediately. Charles is in the house. There's wilds with brown replaced by gray. Wilds and brown are the same thing. There's wilds with brown replaced by gray. So they'd be silvers. They would just be silvers. Vermont Quail says, what makes blind quail? I have 3 blind as a bat. Not all the same hatch. I shine a light and their pupil dilates fine, but they cannot see at all. 3's quite a bit. 3's quite a bit. I would contact wherever you got them from and see what their ratio is to hatching out blind. Sometimes it pops up, if you have 301 hatches out blind, every once in a while, okay, you got just a hidden something somewhere. But 3 of them's quite a bit. I haven't seen that in a long time. I would contact whoever you got them from and talk to them about it. Debbie at She Shed Homestead is in the house. Welcome, glad you're here. Cali Quail Keeper says, Zach, did you notice some roos pick and choose who they mate? Do you recommend calling on testy size and crowing activity? Docile roos are nice, but may not be ideal for best fertilization. No, I don't worry about the size or the crowing. Those don't really, that doesn't really have anything to do with it. They'll be fertile. If I can't tell what they are at exactly 6 weeks old, they automatically get called. So, if I look and they're vent sexable and I still go, I think it's a male, then it's automatically a call. Because I just don't put up with it. And then typically, if we see one roo that continuously just mates one, then we call that one as well, because they're not going to do what we need them to do. So yeah, and that kind of goes back to personality and temperament that we look at. Bob the Boss says, I need to build outside cages. What cage build would you recommend for South Louisiana weather? I really like Chris's from Southwest Game Birds. He loves it. He's you guys get some harsh weather. You guys get cold and you guys get hot. So it fluctuates. It's not like kind of steady all year long. And then Chris lives in, I think, Missouri, I do believe. And so he gets really cold weathers. Not as hot as you, but he still fluctuates. I love his cage setup. I think those are really good. You can fit a lot in there. You don't have to do trays. I like his setup a lot for outside cages. Aaron says, Scott, you're not talking to me. Sundial Fragrance is in the house from Texas. Welcome, glad you're here. Nikki James is in the house from Missouri. Welcome, glad you're here. Let's see. Rohan Edward is in the house. Christopher K says, how well do quail adapt going from living on the ground to a wire floor cage. Again, just 2 or 3 weeks, they'll get used to it, and they're off to the races. So they adapt fine. It just takes a little bit of time. Sundial Fragrance is in the house. When switching roosters, are you doing it gradually or just all the old ones and replace them? Nope, we replace all the males at the same time. So we take all the birds out, anything that looks beat up or, bumblefoot or any males or females, anything that looks bad, we automatically call. We put all the new males back in, put all the hens back in, and they're good to go. So no, we do it all at one time. Let's see. Yusuf says MA, not MI. I thought I said Massachusetts. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah. Tolly River Quail says, any tips for increasing sales, generating new customers in the winter months? Yeah, I've got a Quail for Profit playlist you can check out. But yeah, that's pretty much year long. I mean, those things don't change. So, farmers markets probably slow down. There's some that do it year round, some that move inside, but usually do it year round, some that just stop during the winter months. But you can still hit up grocery stores, you can still hit up restaurants, you can still hit up Asian markets and try to sell ballots year long. That's usually when we sell quite a bit of ballots, is in these months. So yeah, I would just watch the playlist and keep doing it. Consistency is key. Is it recommended to order hatching eggs if it's freezing temperatures? Does it affect it at all? It really depends on who you order from and how they package. So for example, as soon as I'm done with the live, I'm going down to the barn for the next hour and a half. Well, it depends on when I get off here. I'm going down to the barn at 9 o'clock. Usually I'm down there during the winter months between 9 and 11. Like last night, I went down at 9:30 and got done at about midnight. But that's when I collect eggs. They all go in the foamers, and then all of the eggs go into the brooder room, because that's temperature controlled. And then tomorrow we'll box them up and ship them out. Typically my eggs lay, I've obviously got a lot of eggs, right? But a large majority, like 95%, lay between 8 and 10 o'clock. So, if they lay between 8 and 10 o'clock, spring, summer, and fall, it's not a big deal. I let them go for the night. In the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I go down, collect, and ship out. But during the winter months, for best results for you guys, I actually go down at night, collect all the eggs, put them in the brooder room where it's temperature controlled, and then box them up and ship them out. So they're still laid within 12 hours of shipping. It's just collected a little bit differently. So we change our system during the different temperatures during the different seasons to offset whatever the season is. I think I made that make sense. Liz H says, will you let us know with a post when the Jumbo Wilds are back in stock, or just keep an eye on the website? Yes, I will. I will be posting. I'll actually be doing a couple. I've got a problem. I mean, I should do it a lot better, but I don't want to do YouTube videos as just like an advertisement. But on the same token, I want to communicate. So in January, usually I'll do a couple different, not really educational videos, but more informative videos like, hey, these are on the website, or this is the confirmed day they'll be back on, just so everybody knows, just so the word's out there, and there's no confusion, things like that. So yeah, that will happen as soon as I've got specific dates. So it really just, we're, George and I starting, we got a lot of eggs shipping out tomorrow. We might start tomorrow. Most likely we'll start Tuesday, but we're going to be starting to weigh 900 jumbos. 1, 2, 7, 8, about 900. Yeah, we'll be weighing out about 900 jumbos. Well, once we get our males, we'll kill the rest, so we won't weigh the rest. Yeah, but and then we're just gonna keep doing this week after week after week. So it just depends on the weights, and because we are getting stricter this year with certain things to increase the lines. And so it really just depends on how it goes. But the projection is January 1st, Jumbo Whites, Jumbo Egyptians, Jumbo Mix, and Jumbo Sex Links will all be back on the website. Jumbo White Wings and Jumbo Wilds, we're hoping and pushing as hard as we can for January 1st. It might be mid-January. It all depends on how that goes. But everything, including live quail, will be back on the website in January. Sue McKee is in the house. I want to add some outside white hens to the inside white 4 hens in a row at 72 degrees inside and 25 outside. As long as they have shelter and they can get out of the elements and they're over 4 weeks old, not a big deal at all. Go ahead. Cali Quail Keeper says, Zach, what are your thoughts on corn and soy-free feed? I think it's well, most feeds have corn in it. I mean, you can't just feed them corn. But you know, usually it's a lot more expensive, and if you're selling, you're not getting your money out of it. People just won't, you know, we had a couple people throughout the years that wanted to start like an organic non-GMO quail farm, and you know, they were paying like $28, $35 a bag for feed for it to be non-GMO, you know, naturally organic, this, that, and the other, certified, and they just had to sell their birds and their eggs for way too much money, where it just wasn't profitable, and that continues to happen over and over and over. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. If it's just for you and that's what you want to do, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Michael Perry says, evening all. Question, Zach, how do you keep your barn from stinking with so many quail? I've got 146 with exhaust fan and intake fan and leave hanger doors open. Still stinks bad after 3 or 4 days. Well, we do the poop every day, so that helps a lot. We've got 2 industrial fans. We've got really, really, really high ceilings and a lot of flow. So, but I would say doing the poop every day and getting it out of the barn helps a lot. Katrina's in the house from Gilroy, California, checking in while I finish up the 3-day value-added summit. I have quail hatching. Okay, getting my like in and saying goodnight to everyone. Good night. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Carrie says, Zach, the guy that said his males are infertile or asked if they will be fertile again is the one that said they were out in the cold and don't have foam. He's wondering if they will have foam again. Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's no males, then they're not gonna do as much, but they're still fertile. There's just not a lot going on in there. But yeah, you move them with some hens and that won't be a problem at all, depending on their age. I mean, that also is a big factor. Johan says, I know you won't have any jumbos till the beginning of the year. Any recommendations on where possible can you get some at the time being? I do not. You know, I mean, there's a lot of breeders out there. You can obviously look around and check that out. But yeah, I don't know. In fact, nope, can't say that. Never mind, can't say that. Yeah, I would just look around and look at reviews and what everybody else recommends and go from there. Christopher K says, what is calling? Just a nice word for not using in a breeding program. You know, you can butcher them. Calling is really not necessarily killing, but not using it in your breeding program usually means killing, usually. So calling is like, you know, the jumbos didn't make weight, so I'm going to call them for my falconer, or I'm going to butcher them for human consumption, or we're going to sell them to a dog training person, or we're going to, you know, whatever. Sundial Fragrance says, thanks so much, Zach. Not a problem. Thanks for asking. Witch Doctor says, hey, everyone, listen while I clean out the work truck. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Ernest is in a house from Haiti. Welcome. Very cool. Vermont Quail says, Zach, will quail be fine out of the weather and wind at 0 to -20, or will they die that cold? Nope, not a problem at all. I know quite a bit of customers in Alaska and very cold areas that are, you know, -36 they're outside, but I mean, obviously they're sheltered from the wind and things like that. They do fine. The temperature really doesn't affect them very much. Right now, anyways, it's not that cold, and they love the heated rooms. Witch Doctor says our Costco is selling quail eggs. I think they are out of chicken eggs. I can believe it. They just killed another like 1.8 million in Nebraska chicken layer or egg layers chickens for grocery stores because of avian influenza. So yeah, I mean, this would be a great time for people to get into the restaurant world. Be a great business decision for me, but that's just not the way I want to go. Whiskey Tango Farms in the house from Wisconsin, just dropping in to say hi and get our like in. Got to finish more things outside, so won't be on. Have have a great night, y'all. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Christopher K says, do quail need to take dust baths like chickens? They do not. They'll enjoy them, so if you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with it, but they don't have to. Vermont Quail says, yeah, I know that, but we never lose our power here. Plus, I am all set with generator, but the cost is unbelievable. Oh, I don't think you're talking to me. Texas Top Shelf Reptiles in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Linda Stoner is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Yusuf says, will you have sex links available around next 2 months? I might get some to raise. Yep, they'll be back on the website in January. It lost my spot again. Keep doing that. Carrie says PDZ in the trays. PDZ is like a horse stall bedding kind of thing. Eliminates odor or not eliminates it, but reduces the odor, things like that. Yeah, a lot of people do that as well. We don't have trays here, so yeah, but that's a good idea as well. Linda Stoner says, we use sawdust in trays. It helps a lot. There you go. Feather Connections Homestead is in the house. Kelly checking in and getting my like in. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you very much. And welcome. Glad you're here. Carrie says, use the powder, not the... Oh, I did not know that. I didn't know it came in different things. Interesting. Thanks. Debbie at She Shed Homestead says, someone asked me about feeding quail oats. Do oats help with feathers? I think there's certain oats that help with chicken feathers. I don't have any idea about quail. Not a clue. Sorry. And there's only certain kinds with the chicken, so I don't know enough about it to say anything. I'm sorry. D. Velasquez is in the house. Do you ever notice your quail sneeze often? I'm not sure if it's actually a sneeze or just a sound they do. No, I have not heard that. The hens kind of like coo a little bit, and the males obviously crow, but that's pretty much it. Linda Stoner says, we call aggressive birds, but call it harvesting so our grandkids don't get as upset about it. There you go. Ken Hoffman says, hey Zach, Ken from Missouri. I am just getting into raising quail for personal use and for egg sales. I have learned a lot from your vlogs. Thank you for your help in setting up my quail business. Well, thank you very much. Good luck. And this is a great time to get into it because a lot of people lost a lot of chickens and the grocery stores keep running out. So this is a great thing. So good time to do it. I'm probably going to butcher it. I'm going to try my very best. So if I do, feel free to correct me. Won't hurt my feelings. Deontay Ward, hope I said that correctly. First time checking in and glad to be here. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. I have my first batch of quail that's set to hatch on the 12th. I'm a bit worried because I heard quail babies are hard to keep alive. Any advice? No, the first couple of days it's a little tricky, but it's not that difficult. Go to... I think it's under the hatching process playlist. And the end of those videos should have a couple brooder videos. Watch those, get familiar with it. And as long as you're, advised and educated, and you know what you're looking for, you're going to do great. It's not that difficult. It's a little tricky the first time, but, getting that information ahead of time is going to help a lot. So I'd check those videos out. La Rochelle Farm is in the house. Welcome. Haven't seen you for a while. Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. I've been absent for a while, real busy with kiddos, soccer, and work. I get it. 100%. Good to see you. Gutros Urban Homestead says, hey, all, just popping in to say hi. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. La Rochelle Farm says, happy holidays. You as well. Hopefully, you had a great Thanksgiving and you'll have a good Christmas and New Year. Sundial Fragrance says, when would you recommend as far as water system? Oh, what would you recommend as far as water system? I like the bucket system. I like, gravity fed with bucket. I like the cow heater water in there that you just place in the bucket. Some people do the bubbler from an aquarium where it just keeps rotating the water and bubbling the water so it doesn't freeze. That's what I like. Sue says, I have one pure white hen. Is that unusual? No, not unusual at all. Yusuf says, here where I live, free range chicken eggs cost $10. Whew, glad I don't buy eggs, so I am not familiar with it at all anymore. Texas Top Shelf says, I use the horse stall lime in the aviary. There you go. A lot of people do that. Works out well. Bob Grove says, I used Chris's plans for outdoor quail hutch. Very satisfied with it. The quail really like the sand bath and lay most of their eggs in the sand. Yeah, usually they will if they have a sand bath. But yeah, somebody asked earlier, outdoor hutch recommendations. I really do like Chris's. That's slightly redneck. In fact, I think he's even done 1 or 2 videos on how he built it and things like that. So you could check that out. God, I wish I wouldn't have done that. By the way, you have pronounced my name perfectly. Thanks for the info. Look at me. D. Velasquez says, is there a trick to having clean eggs laid without the poop sticking to the eggs? Yeah, you need a rollout. The rollout is just a cage where, it's slanted. So once they lay the egg, it rolls right out and you have a little opening. That's all we have. But if you don't have a rollout and it's just flat, they're going to get a little gross in there. Usually not awful if you're collecting daily unless you've got a sun bath or whatever, but dust bath. But yeah, if you don't have a rollout, they'll get a little nasty. So that's completely normal. There is no other questions, so real quick, if there is any, feel free to ask real quick. I am going to go over the announcements that I did at the beginning in case you missed them. So number 1, we are revamping the 18 under contest. That will start again in January. So stay tuned for that. We do have a lot of big things planned for the rest of the year. So this next week, it's going to be, behind the scenes. I've got a lot of pre-work to do with a lot of videos. I'm going to be in the barn, weighing 900 jumbos to go into as new breeders, and then doing it again next week and next week and next week, and so on and so forth. But the week after next, is we're going to be doing 4 Zoom meetings. I'll be doing a YouTube video on times, dates, how to set up, topics, and all that jazz. It's kind of like a live Q&A. It's going to be a little bit different. Either there's going to be a topic or questions have to be submitted beforehand, or it's going to be like a live Q&A, but there's only going to be between 10 and 20 people in the Zoom. It's going to be more of you communicating with me instead of commenting. We've got something big planned starting in January. So anybody that's interested in that, make sure you watch the videos this week for all the details to sign up, because I only have time to do 4 Zooms, and it's going to be limited people, so I'm going to have to turn people away. So make sure you keep an eye out on that. The week after that is Christmas, and obviously we won't be going live on Christmas, but we're making a special live Q&A, special time, special place on Friday, the day before Christmas Eve. So the eve of Christmas Eve. We're going to do a live Q&A, but I'm going to have 2 extra people with me. They won't actually be here, but they'll be on the live. We'll be doing Zoom, and we'll go live on the YouTube. We'll be announcing something really big that we've been working on for months and months and months. So I'm really excited about that. And then Christmas Day, we'll be doing a very special video that hopefully you guys will be able to watch. And then that next Sunday is New Year's Day. And then we are going live and we're going to be what we've been working on for quite some time. That's cost us a lot of money, energy, effort. We are going to be opening it up to the public and going live with it on New Year's Day on that Sunday. And so there's going to be the people that I've been working with to do so on there, and we'll announce everything, and you'll be able to start doing it, and it's going to be great. So we've got a lot of. My dog fell down the stairs. We've got a lot of big stuff coming up for the rest of the month. So stay tuned for that. I do have some good YouTube videos coming out this week. When to replace breeders and add new blood. Things to think about. Again, tips, tricks, all that jazz. And then if you purchase... Oh, no. And what is the difference between jumbo and standard and what to start with? I think that'll help a lot of new people out. And then I'm actually going to be doing 6 more videos this week. They won't all be posted this week. But there's going to be a lot of really good videos coming your way, so make sure you stay tuned for those. I will answer the rest of the comments, and then we will get out of here. Sundial Fragrance says, thanks, Zach. I do have the bucket system, however, my quail are not excited about the drinker. I have the red thing with the yellow stick they have to pack. Oh, well, in that case, I love the troughs. Love, love, love the troughs. That's what I highly recommend them. Everything in our barn is troughs. You can get them at quailcage.com. It's winolaranch.com as well. But the troughs are phenomenal. They just click right into the outside of the cage. They put their heads out, drink, no, going underneath it and spilling it, no stop going on top and it spilling out. It's fantastic. Doesn't get as dirty. It's awesome. Mullen Farm says, a big thank you from Nova Scotia. Started raising quail after watching your videos. Pickled quail eggs is a big hit in these parts. That's wonderful to hear. Congratulations. And I wish you all the best. Daniel's in the house. Are jumbos good for both meat and egg production? Or would you recommend standards for egg production, jumbos bred for meat? Yeah, pretty much. Jumbos will still lay a decent amount of eggs. That video is coming out this week, but long story short, you can get an extra, 30 to 60 extra eggs a year from the standards rather than the jumbos. That could be 1 or 2 extra months worth. You know what I mean? Like that adds up. So as far as egg production goes, the eggs will be smaller for standards, but you're going to get a whole crap ton more of them. But obviously the jumbos are going to be the largest. So they're the largest meat, they're the largest eggs. So you just have to decide on what you're looking for. Quail Journey Farm says, what can you do with baby quail when power goes out for 18 hours? Keep them as insulated as possible. There is, I never did look it up. Long time ago, we had a heat blanket that was battery operated. And our power went out one time, and that's what we did, and it worked great. But I don't know where the crap we got that from. I've never seen it since. I don't know how long we had it. I don't know where it's at now. But that is a thing. There's some out there. So you can always look at that. Stephen Hogan says, the 18 under contest is fantastic. My son is still enjoying quail a year later. That is wonderful to hear. I love to hear that. Thank you very much. La Rochelle Farm says, hello. Oh, you're not talking to me. Not talking to me. No one's talking to me. Crystal Grubb says, good evening. Sorry I'm late. Stuck at work. Well, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And welcome. Christopher K says, is there an email list to join that send out notifications when eggs are in stock or in any other notifications about Myshire Farm? Yeah, I will be doing those, but it won't be email. It will be YouTube videos and Facebook posts. I am working on the email list, but I'm not ready to have that go live yet. But I'm working on it. I need to remember to do that. Okay, sorry. Let's see. LOL, Great Danes, so graceful. Whew. Chris Bland's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Gary Ricker says, what is the 18 under contest? It's a contest that we do every month. We've been doing it for about 3 years. Anyone that's 18 and under can enter the contest, and we pick a winner each month, and they get eggs and an incubator and a cage and all kinds of stuff to help them start their journey, whether it's they're wanting to start their own business or just become more responsible or becoming self-sufficient. It's just to help the next generation get involved with self-sufficiency and learn responsibility and hopefully get off electronics a little bit. Nikki James says, hope everyone has a great week. You as well. Andy Rabbit says, hello all. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We'll definitely try the troughs out. Absolutely, Sundial Freight. I love them. I absolutely love them. Chris Bland says, Zach, I'm on lockdown. Got 60 eggs from you. 3 so far hatched. Spoke to you today from the Caribbean. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully that'll help. Vermont Quail says, I make with my quail eggs eggnog. Very good. Very cool. I've never done that with quail eggs. It looks like Verna found a battery-operated heat blanket. Comes in handy sometimes. Tully River Quail says, thank you for your time, Zach. Just FYI, our Myshire Jumbo White Wings Wilds and Whites are doing great in their new outside cage battery with our solar winter watering system. Enjoy your eve. Wonderful to hear, and good luck. I hope they do well for you. Joy says, I have an inverter that plugs into my truck. That's a good idea. Steve Hogan says, really considering upgrading to the Jumbo White Wings this year from the standards I currently have. There you go. I really, really love the Jumbo Whites. We've been working on them for a while, but last week was the first week we weighed, 400 or 500 of them. Man, they are big. They're laying consistently. They're huge eggs. I'm really happy with the Jumbo Whites. Really, really happy. Vermont Quail says small generators are not all that expensive for when the power goes out. There you go. There's different kinds. It's, to each their own. But yeah, obviously generators work well. And that was all the comments for tonight. So everybody, thank you very much. Hopefully you heard all the announcements coming your way. If you just joined or whatever, make sure you watch the first 5-6 minutes of the live because we've got a lot of stuff going on this month. You won't want to miss it. So thank you very, very much for showing up. We've got some good videos coming your way, so stay tuned for those. I will be back this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our YouTube channel for a rapid fire Q&A. It's much faster. I don't read all the comments. It's just question and answer. Fast. If you're interested in the Zoom, make sure you check it out this week. I'll be posting sometime this week. I don't know when. I forgot to do that video today. But it'll be later on in the week, probably. I don't know when. I'll be posting it this week though. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that bell icon for notifications so you don't miss it. Hopefully you'll be interested in showing that or participating in that. And guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go down to the barn and collect everybody's eggs. And so thank you very much, and we will see you next time. As always, everybody, until next time, stay safe.